and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids147, and it's time for me to kit up another PaintGem mini set. I do still have the retro set kitted up. It is in a work in progress, but I do want my next one ready, especially because I'm about to finish a large one and then I am going to flip between doing some of Walking in the Rain and doing some more of the PaintGem minis. So I want another one ready. I have moved all my PaintGem mini sets to one reel, or to one spin the wheel. I did have a couple of them. Which ones was it? Geometric and Gothic, I think, were on my PaintGem mini sets for less than 30, because then I could use my PaintGem case. But because I'm now only having a couple kitted up at a time, I've put them in with the mix, and if they get picked, I'll just pick that case instead. Or I may start using some other cases. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's spin the wheel and see which one is for today. So I do have quite a few. I also have what's called a free square, which means I get to pick. I have also added in National Parks 4. I haven't officially added that in my logbook yet, but it has been unboxed. So I've thrown it in the mix. So let's see what it picks. Doors. Very nice. Let's not rate you right now. So let me get the doors set. All my sets, the only one I would have been able to grab really quickly was National Parks 4, because it's not been put in my logbook yet, so it's in a different place. But I'm having to go through all the rest to find doors. Maybe I should find some way of adding a little tab on the end of these. So they're really easy to see which one it is, but they're all on my shelf like this. So this is what I see. Anyway, I have found doors. So I have the cards, which these are just design 1 to whatever. For our stickers, we have given them names of like different coloured doors. This is one that has quite a few more than 30 colours. But what I do like to do when I first start doing these sets is to actually, okay, I'm going to have to, I've only brought my smaller trimmer in here because we use the rest in the shop quite a bit. So I thought, oh, I'll put this trimmer in my craft room for trimming down my PaintGem minis. It's only just big enough. But I like to do this as part of my prep because it's easier to do when there is no diamonds on the canvas. And what I'm doing is sort of neatening up the edges. I like to cut the little number off the bottom, which is what, you know, they tell us the numbers are. But also, all the canvases have this very, very thin grey line, which I think is a guide for whoever packs them to know where to cut. And it's not hugely distracting, but I prefer not to have it on there. So while it's a new set, I'm going to trim them all. I'm trimming the part off with the number first because then I can go round in an order. And they're all pretty straight, but I do think they're cut with scissors. So occasionally it's not the straightest line, but once I've got my first line, I can then use this guide here to cut all my next lines, and then it will be straight all the way round. Quite a few in this. We get 12 in this set. They're all squares. All PaintGem mini sets are square diamonds rather than being they don't do any in round, they do them all in square, but they are the most gorgeous square sets, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. What I started doing with retro as well is I've actually already pulled out a display book for them for my retro set. And when I finish a painting, I stick it straight into my book. So what I did do was I took the time to put a strip of double-sided tape on the back of each of these before I started diamond painting on them. So before I placed any diamonds, I put some double-sided tape on them. So all I have to do when I finish doing the painting is cut the tape off. I will show you in a minute. I won't do the double-sided tape as part of my kitting up. I will do it as soon as I finish this video because, I mean, to be honest, cutting them up can be a bit boring, but you get a glance at the designs when I'm cutting them up. Putting double-sided tape on the back of them is something boring to watch. The only thing I do find with cutting them up before I've done them is the clear film that's on the front. I end up cutting through some of that in the process. And oh my goodness me, that stuff can fly about everywhere. I end up with so many little bits of it in so many different places. But there we go. Try and get all of the clear bits off the side without threatening to cut myself. And I'll fight with getting those in the bin in a minute. But this is what I've done with the retro set. So I've put my front cover in, I've got my stickers here, and any that I've completed I've put in. And then I have my clipboard with it. And then in my case, I have my pen and my tray that I've chosen for this set. But then the back of all of them have the double-sided tape already at the top and the bottom. So once I finish one, it goes straight into my book, gets taped down, and it's like it's getting its final little home all at the same time. So I will do the tape as part of this process later on. I will also get a display book and get the stickers for this set so that I can have them all together. So let's pop my bag away with all my other bags because I don't need that anymore. And I need to grab the diamonds. For the diamonds, I've kept them all in the packets for these. Quite often I would like relabel. I relabel a lot of my diamonds and put them into these bags with what the set is. But with the mini ones, they all come with the name of the kit on it. And they're, because I have so many, because I have quite a few, I find they actually take up less space if I store them this way. So now I'm just playing the hunt the bag. Is it going to be like the last bag that I pull out? I have a few. There it is. Next to last bag that I pulled out is the Doors edition. So let's pop those back. Right. Nearly ready. So while this is a kit that is more than 30 colours, I will use my double-decker storage. This has different containers in it. So somebody in the group ever so amazingly showed that you can fit more tubs in. If you put the smaller tubs out, the little 28 containers, you can actually get, I think, like 4 more extra rows. which allows, I like these because I can keep everything together. I can keep the paintings in the bottom, the diamonds in the top, grab it with my clipboard and off I go. So, do I want ABs on this one? That's the question. I kind of do, but I also kind of want to be fussy. So what I'm thinking, looking at these, is it would potentially be nice to have some ABs in the flowers that are going round the outside. I think that would look pretty. To just do some in the flowers that go round the outside of the doors. Not necessarily on all of them, but on some of them. Especially like this one. Can you imagine with some ABs in and some ABs on the little wreath and in the tree? Yes, ABs would look nice. So let's pick some ABs out first. So I have all of these. So let's have a look at what sort of symbols it uses on the doors. Where's that one that I definitely thought? This is one that I definitely think will be a good one, but then I also think this would be. Okay, so the letter C is appearing in a couple of these around the doors. It's sort of the brighter red, and that is 666. Do I have that in ABs? I think I do. I think I might have to start splitting these up soon. Here we go, 666, I do. So I want that one. That's in quite a few places. I also think I saw, there's a purple that I've seen in a few. See, that has the letter C around the doors as well. And this letter T, which only appears once in that part. The letter B appears more in that one, and both the letter B and the T. So what have we got? 725 or 307. So let's have a look if we have either of those. I should maybe have put them in DMC order as well. That may have helped. So what am I after? 307 or 725? I don't have, ABs don't have to match exactly, but I always like to see if I've got matching ones first. Okay, so I don't have matching in either of those, but I do have some yellows. I have 444, which is a yellow, very similar to possibly the letter T. So the letter T is in a couple of the middle of those flowers, but a lot of them it's appearing in the middle. So maybe let's see if I have something else. So maybe one of these lilacs. Let's move to one of the purples. So 211, 209. Let's just find purples. Okay, 552, no. 208, no. 210, no. 3835, no. Okay, so there's no purples. I have purples, but they're not the same purples. These are the purples that I have. So I'm thinking that 210 might be a good in place option of not 209, I was thinking 211, which is it that one? Yes. So 211, so it is quite a bit darker. 209 doesn't sort of match any of those. Does this one? This one matches a bit closer to 208. Not hugely, but I kind of feel like of the 4, that is potentially the closest match. So 208, 3837 is the letter P. Oh, but it's not really in a scattering. Oh, it is on this one. It is on this one. It's not on the others. So maybe I go for 210. So they do look a different colour once they've got the AB on them. Oh, I do have my Fan Cells ABs that I've not yet put away. Now I may need this for the pinks, but does it have any purples? It has 550 and 3746, which is not one of the purples. Okay, it doesn't have any more purples. So let's hold on the purples. Let's have a look at the pinks. The letter K is a nice one. That one's scattered throughout this door. Is it scattered anywhere else? Again, I'm looking at the flowers. So it is scattered on these flowers. So that's 899. Let's find it in here. 899. So that pink one would be a very, very nice pink to do an AV in. 603, close-ish. I don't have many pinks. What pinks have I got in here? 602, that's very close. That might be my best pink. That one's the wrong shade. Okay, I think I'm going to put this pink in, which is 602 in place of 899. So what I also want to do, what I like to do on these symbols, so I've got 666, which is the letter C. I like to put an asterisk on my sticker, and what that tells me is that I have a substitute that will work as an AB. And I do it in case the numbers aren't the same. So in this case, of course, they're not exactly the same. So I want it as a, I've got something similar. What else have we got? Maybe I should start concentrating on a few doors. So this one, I've got the letter K and I've got the letter C. So that will give me a little bit of sparkle in both sides. But I don't have any purple. I think I'm going to have to go back to getting a purple. 209 is Y. That's the one that I want. That is the one that I want a purple in. Is 209. No, I definitely don't have anything in my AB diamonds. Where was my other purple? So I had 2 here. See, I haven't even put these back with purples in the right place. There it is. 210. I might just have to put 210 in. Because 209 and 210 is sort of the next range. If it doesn't look right in the flowers when I'm actually doing it, then I won't. Like I'll change my mind. But I'm going to put the Y to have 210. Okay, so that one's definitely got enough. That one's got the red going in. I think that'll give enough of a scattering. Some of the yellow might have looked nice, but there's not that much of it. We've got the letter K for these flowers. We've got the letter Y for these flowers, but again, that might be one I don't put it on. This one, we've also got the Y and the K. This one, we've got the letter K. That would give quite a bit of a scattering throughout. This one's got the 6, or the letter C for 666. So this one's got the letter C. It's also got a little bit of the letter K. What's the number G? 3766, which is a blue. What's 3766? This is where I get all my diamonds out of order because I'm just going hunting through them. 3766. Where is it? It'll be in here somewhere. Oh, it's actually more of a turquoisey blue than a blue. Oh, the next one was 3766. That'll teach me to not look properly. So the letter G is actually that colour. And what I'm thinking is on this one, I'll have a little scattering of the red. I'll have a scattering of red and pink, but I wanted something else to sort of scatter throughout. So that letter G would be a good one for that. So we'll put a star on that one. And then let me have a nosy at the last ones. This one can have a couple if I want it to, just in the flowers. This one, I don't know whether I'd want them in that number 7. I feel like just having them scattering down in this letter K would be enough. This one's got the letter K, so that would have a scattering of those all the way through. This one will have the letter Y if I want it. Okay, so I think I've got enough. So I'm going to pop in there my 4 ABs that I may end up scattering throughout. So quite often, sometimes I will scatter ABs through some of them, but not all of them. But it's nice to know what I do and don't have. So I'll push my fan cell ones out the way. Oh, I'm going to have some tidying up to do. Okay, let's number these bottles or these cases and let's actually get some diamonds in. So quite often they use letters, numbers and symbols. Though I have found they used to be more in order. They're not as much in numerical order anymore. They're not in DMC order on here, but they used to be in like ABC. They're not so much anymore. But I will make them in that order. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And I always work this way with my paint gems. So because I end up putting my stickers in the same way all the time, I find, I get used to looking in exactly the same place for exactly the same letter because I use the same cases as well. So it becomes very familiar to me when I get a paint gem set out. L, M, N, and they tend to use all the letters as well. No, that wasn't O. This one is. O, P, Q. It's a matter of finding it. R, S. We've got a lot in this one. S. Where's T? There it is. They always use the letter T, the T for 307. I should know that. It's become a staple. I'm sure they use the letter T for 307 all the time. Okay, S, T, U. They'll have a numbering system that makes perfect sense. I've just not figured out what it is. S, T, U, V, W, X, X, Y, and Z. And then I like to move on to numbers. Some people prefer to do numbers followed by letters, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Now for symbols, sometimes, especially when I'm doing really big paintings, I will group like by like symbols together. But quite often what I do when I'm working with these, with the paint gems, is I tend to put sort of the darker colours together. And then, oh, am I going to have enough for all of these? I might not even have enough to fit all of these in. So I've put the darker colours and then one beige. Oh, I will. I just have to put it on here. Okay, what I'm actually going to do then is I'm going to put this beige one up here. And then I'm going to start my blues, because when I put that there, my other blue will be next to it. And then I'm going to put my greens. So I only just have enough to fill every single pot in this one. I don't know that I've had that before with a paint gem. Or maybe I have, because I have had little cases. Christmas, I think, was a very high colour one. I've had little pots in the bottom before now for extra ones. Okay, let's see if we are dealing with static today or not. We are dealing with a little bit. Hopefully it's not a lot. If it is, I have my dryer sheets. I've already mucked up the colours to no end. Messed them all up by pulling out all those colours to check for ABs. So I think I might kit up by pot. Oh yes, we've definitely got static. So where is my dryer sheets? So let me get my dryer sheets. I've got a perfect size piece. Maybe it's from when I kit up retro, or left over from kitting up retro. Put a dryer sheet in, shake, set those arms a wobbling. You're not like me. And it gets rid of the static on the bag, or in the bag, and allows you to tip them out. Where are they stuck? Oh, they're actually stuck outside the bag underneath the label. I was trying to get these diamonds from inside the bag and they were stuck outside. Anyway, it's done. Right, 414. And I do have quite a few diamonds floating about on my table. That is when they get caught. So if you see here, they've got caught in between the bag and the grip seal. So it's not that the grip seal bags are open. It's that some diamonds have got caught in the kitting up, or in the putting the diamonds into their bags process. Okay, I didn't shake that enough. Yeah, they've got caught up in it and have ended up outside of the bag rather than inside. And of course, I don't have my mega tray. So let me grab my mega tray for kitting up. Try and make my life easier by actually remembering the things that I need. And then let's calm down the rest of these diamonds. I just don't think I shook the bag long enough to get rid of the static. Sometimes there's different levels of static. and sometimes they are a bit extreme. Okay, 3860. Looks like a dark one. It's actually not that dark. The sticker definitely makes it look darker than it is. Trying to make sure all the diamonds touch the dryer sheet, and if they do, then they tend to lose the fight in them. Now some are dropping into the tray, and I could, if I dropped a load of them, I could potentially, of course, send them down the spout in the tray. But because they do have static, what I personally find is when they have a load of static, they can sometimes get stuck in the bottom of the tray, because of course it's just more plastic onto plastic. You know, they're gonna have a fit. So if it's only a few, I'd rather pick them up with a damp finger, because it tends to calm them down more so. Well, this set is proper jumpy. Okay, let's just get you out of that bag. Let's see how this works. So I'm just rubbing the dry sheet around on all the diamonds. Yeah, see, plastic on plastic, they're just not liking it the same. So we'll get what we can out by bashing them. They do tend to calm down once they've been in these pots for a while. Oh, none of them got stuck. Bonus. They do tend to calm down after they've been in these pots for a while. Occasionally I'll pop a small piece of dryer sheet in with them, just to make sure that they do. But I've had so many little pieces of dryer sheets. You see them all in my spares where I've tipped them in with them. I get a bit bored of cutting small dryer sheets all the time. I should put them in with every pot, but I don't, because they don't tend to give me much hassle after they're in the pots. So they tend to calm down quite a lot. Right, this is a really big bag of 701. So I may have to give it another pass with the dryer sheets. We'll see, they might not all fit in here. No, they're not all fitting in here. So what I'll do is well, that should do it. I've got a long piece of a dryer sheet. I'll put that in there. And every time I pick up this kit to take it out, it will get a little bit of a shape. By the time I need to fill this up, they should have calmed themselves down. And quite often, when I kit up a kit that I have extra diamonds for, I do use this bag and book rings to put the extras in, and then I can hang them on the side of my diamond painting cart. Because the PaintGem minis, I work differently with them. I don't tend to do them in my craft room. I tend to do them sat on the couch. I prefer to have everything together. That's why I put a tray and a pen in there as well when I'm kitting up, so that I literally just have to grab the whole pack, the whole box, and my A5 clipboard, and off I go. And I can take the whole thing with me. So because of that reason, I don't want to put them in separate bags. Plus, the static will just play holy heck. I'd rather have the bags floating around in the bottom of here and keep everything together. Okay, so I've used that piece of dryer sheet that I was using in the bags in that one. So I'm just going to cut up 3 more. May as well do a strip ready. These dryer sheets were bought for me by a subscriber a good couple of years ago, and they're still going. Same pack of dryer sheets, and they're still going strong. And then some of these bags don't really have static at all. I don't know whether some colours just decide to be arrogant and other ones aren't too fussed. Who knows? But I'll take the quick wins where they pour in with no trouble over ones that don't. For the AB diamonds, I keep the AB diamonds in these bags, apart from my fan sales ones that I will rebag when I do them. So I tend to keep them all in those bags in the bottom with the diamond paintings, and when I'm actually doing the paintings, I will look for the ones with an asterisk, the symbols with an asterisk first. I will look at where they are on the painting and decide if I want to use ABs. And if I do want ABs on that painting, I will do them first. And there is a reason for that. So the AB diamonds I like to place with a pickup pen, with the wax tip pen. But with those pens, I'll put one in there so I don't forget, you can't actually, you can't push down really hard with them because they are like a solid wax tip. So if you place all your other diamonds and then place your ABs, while you can still do that, it's not as easy, because what I find is I place the AB diamond down with the wax pen, and then I place it down with that, but then I have to open the other end to push it in and make sure it's set in solid, because the PaintGem minis don't tend to have gaps around the diamonds. So I have to be a little bit more, sometimes forceful, to get the diamonds in when all the diamonds around it are already done. So, long-winded saying, but basically what I tend to do is I will place the ABs first. So I'll take my diamond painting out, take my cover off, decide which ones I want to do ABs. I will add any AB diamonds that I want to add. I will pop them back into the bottom of the box, put the top back on, and then I will just do the rest of the diamonds as per normal. And I find that that works a lot better for me personally to do it that way. Right, I can't see it because it's staring me in the face. Yeah, and then I'll add all the other diamonds. Now, when I'm adding the other diamonds, sometimes I go by the symbol that's at the bottom and work my way up. Other times, I will go by the order they're in my case. So I will start from the letter A and work my way up, placing them all. What I also do, it's like I play games with PaintGems when I'm doing them. It's like I play a little game. So because these are all in strips, so for example, if this was my first painting, I've placed all my ABs. My first symbol down here is the letter U. So I'll get the strip for the letter U, but then I'll place any V's, W's and X's. And once they've all been done, then I'll have a look at what the next symbol is. It's a triangle, so I'll place them, but then I'll place any other diamonds in that strip. And I'll work my way up the painting doing that. That's my most popular way to do it, is pick whatever's the most bottom left symbol, but then do all the colours in the strip that I've pulled out of my case. And yeah, fill up the painting that way. But if I do my ABs first and use my wax pen to do it, if they're not straight, I can actually use the diamonds that I put around them. So the other diamonds, the plain ones, I can use these to push them straight and nudge them all in the right direction. And it's less effort and time and work and all that jazz. So yeah, just a little tidbit on how I tend to do PaintGem minis. I might do it that same way when I do a whip and waffle on them in a couple of weeks when I'm waiting for a new painting to be kitted up. I'll do a PaintGem and I'll show you the way I often do it. Doing it by letter in order, that's more my once every now and then, just for the change. Especially if I do a couple of PaintGems in the same evening, then I'll do it my usual way and then I'll do it that different way. But either way, I always do my ABs first, if they're going to have ABs on them, because then I'm not missing out on any ABs. Oh, I love it when I open the bag and all the diamonds sink to the bottom. It means I've got no static. It's the best. It's the best feeling when kitting these up to end up with no static. So when you open up the bag, so this has still got diamonds stuck to the side. If you can see them up here, that means there's static keeping them up there. If the diamonds don't have static, they all drop to the bottom when you open them up. So give this one a really good shake. And then I don't know if you can tell, but now none of them are sticking to the side. They're all dropping into a clump. And that means primarily the static has disappeared. When I've had to shake it with a dryer sheet in, especially with this many diamonds in, sometimes some are missed. So there are still a few in here with static. But if you open up the bag first off and they all settle down to the bottom, then you've probably not got static at all. Which is what I'm getting with some of these. Just not all of them. So let's get those in. Come on. There we go. 601. So you can see they're stuck to the side. When I open it up, they stay stuck to the side and some of them are jumping. Hopefully I'll get an example of a set that's not got static before we're done. I am keeping the top closed tightly. I do not want diamonds flying all over the place. Though I have a lot of spares if I manage to do something like that to it. Okay, 959. So we've got one stuck. Have we got static? We do. They're still stuck up the top and a load of others started jumping at the same time. It's a lot easier to get rid of static in a smaller bag. Smaller amount of diamonds. Okay, 415. I know that's a grey. Have we got static? Yes. Yes, we do. Again, there's only a few. So I'm just going to ruffle the bag up to make them all touch the dryer sheet. Or hopefully all of them. And then they'll flatten down enough. Right, 211. Where are you? Is that you? It is. Oh! They all drop straight to the bottom. That's probably because I didn't open it closer to the camera, but hopefully you can see it anyway. Let's try this one though. I reckon they're jumpy. There's a little bit more air in this bag and I can see that they're staying jumpy, whereas some of the bags are really, like there's no air in that bag, so you don't know until you open it whether they're staticky or not. This is a gorgeous set to do. I think there's been a few people that have told me they've ordered this one recently, this PaintGem set. But don't forget, I do have a discount code in the link down below that should work for you to get a little bit of percentage off the PaintGem sets. Oh my goodness me, you see the static in that one? Like, they're just none of them are going to the bottom. They're all stuck on the side of the bag. Come on. Calm yourself down. I can see them all moving further down the bag as I use the dryer sheet, so that now they'll all clump down the bottom and tip into the pot. Beautiful. Right, is that 453? Have we got static? A little bit. I can see the odd one jumping, but most of them went straight down into the bottom of the bag. So I'm going for it with no dryer sheet, and it won. 782. Oh, there you are. So again, these are all flat and scattered about, but when I open the bag, most of them drop down, but some of them don't. So we have static. I mean, they'll always let you know when you try and tip them in a pot anyway, because they'll just jump about like nobody's business, but it's nice to know beforehand if you're going to have to fight with the diamonds or not. Some of these are still jumpy. But get you in a more controlled environment. 307. When I open that one up, a little bit of static. Most of them are dropped to the bottom, but not all of them, so I'm just going to go for it again and hope that the last few that are staticky will just go in pretty much the right direction. I thought I ended up with one in my tray. I did. Found him. Okay. Get in there. 452. Do we have it? We do. I always try and judge whether I need to use the dryer sheet or not by how much they jump about. And if they jump about too much, then I'll use the dryer sheet. I still need to get a glass rod. Somebody said to use a glass rod and it will calm down the static. There's a few tips and tricks that people say. Freezer doesn't work for me. Otherwise, I would try my hardest to find space in my freezer and just put all the PaintGem mini sets in there for a week. But it's never worked for me. I did it 2 years ago when we had the June waffle and I was kitting up 3 PaintGem mini sets and the static was awful on like all of them. And yeah, the freezer did not work at all. I haven't got a gas pipe that I can sort of test it against. So the other thing is to hold the bag. I think you just hold the outside of the bag. Was it Paulette who said? And touch like an outside line to sort of let the static go out of it that way. But I haven't got one that's handy to use, unfortunately. Not something that I could just sort of, you know, go grab a few bags and make it work. But glass rod is another one that somebody said that I feel would be a lot easier to put into practice while kitting up, to just run a glass rod inside the bag rather than a dryer sheet. But in between, a dryer sheet, pop the sheet in, give your arm a good workout, let the skin move, and just give it a really good shake, and it works really well. It's just more time consuming and doesn't look anywhere near as pretty on camera. So, oh, definitely got static in this one. It's my purples. Get that Shaken, not stirred. Maybe if the glass rod works, you can stir them. And then you can choose which one you prefer. Okay, I didn't get them all. The rest are just creating a mess. I have also in the past just wrapped it around my finger and moved it around inside the bag, which is the same sort of thing as shaking them all up. Just sometimes it's not quite as easy to get to all the diamonds, but when you've only got a few, it's possibly better if you don't throw them all over your desk instead. Put one stuck to my finger. It's the thing with static, they like to stick to digits. Okay, we all in? To be honest, I have never run out of a PaintGem colour. I have quite a few diamonds all over the desk, as I say, from the outside part of the grip log bags. And I am not going to try and match them up. I know some people may prefer to do that, and if you do, by all means do it. But I tend to pick my battles, and by the time I have shaken enough bags to get a painting kitted up, I do not feel like matching up just a few diamonds that are on my desk when I know that I have never run out of a PaintGem diamond. I always have loads left. So those few that are floating around on my desk, I am more than happy to let them go and not spend that time. Especially when I have quite a bit of tidying up to do from all the bags that I'm throwing over this other side, out of my way. I'll not fight with the diamonds either. Ooh, oh no, still a little bit of static in this one. I'm hoping that because there's not many diamonds in it, that it's just worth doing. Just missed a few. Okay, 301. Oh, definitely got static in that one. They are jumping fully up the side of the bag. So again, get some air in there, give it a good shake. Try and get the diamonds touching all of them. And then I do tend to take the dryer sheet out. You can, depending on the size of it, you can just leave it in there while you tip them out, but I find it just gets in the way and sends some diamonds flying. 400s, yeah. Static. Nearly there with another set. Well, this box, this tub, has actually got a little piece of dryer sheet left in the bottom of it from whatever last diamond was in there. So that will definitely do the diamonds good. I think I may start adding a dryer sheet back into the bottom of each box with these. In fact, if I just do it on these last couple, but if I cut up these into just small tiny squares and actually put them in the bottom of the pot before the diamonds are added, then quite often it will just sit there. And of course these diamonds don't have static. It will just sit there even when I dekit. So even as I tip out my next lot of diamonds, that dryer sheet will still sit there. This one didn't have static either. So I've not bothered putting a dryer sheet in because I've only got 3 cut in the right size. So I'll put them in these last 3. But yeah, quite often they will end up staying there. Sometimes they do end up in with my spares. But it does help to calm them down even more so while you're actually painting and using them and picking the pots up and shuffling the diamonds about. So it is good practice. I just couldn't be bothered. if I'm being honest. It's getting later in the day. I'm ready to go sit on the couch with Luna, but this was the last thing I needed to do today, so I wanted to get this done before I did. Look at all these diamonds flowing about. Go out the way. Right, what are the 310s playing? Static. There is hardly any 310s in this, and they are full of static. Of course they are, because they're nearly the last colour that I'm doing. And then last, but by no means least, we have 712, and we're playing a static game too. So get the dryer sheet in, shake, 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 shake. Pop my other piece of dryer sheet away while I'm at it. These colours are beautiful though, I must say. I must have given that last set a rather good shake, because most of those have behaved themselves very much, apart from this last one. This last one does not want to behave, and neither does that one. There we go. Woohoo! Last set is in, but look at those. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I need a tray and a pen. What colour should I have for the doors? There are so many different colour designs on the doors. I don't feel like it's got one screaming at me. There is a couple of purple doors though. Maybe, do I pick the tray first? Do I pick the pen first? Oh, here we go. Let's go for a zesty purple. I like using zesty with my PaintGem kits just because there tends to be less diamonds to place. And I'm going to go with one of our older sparkle glitter purple and blue pens. So I've got my wax pen for using the ABs. I've got my actual paintings, I've got my spare diamonds, I've got my tray and my pen. I pop the lid on everything together, and then, as I say, I will, well, if I do this the right way up, I will end up adding to it my clipboard and the book when I finish the other set. So this is my set on the go at the moment. Everything is in there. And then I say I'll just add the clipboard to it and potentially the book. If I'm going away somewhere, I'll only take that and I'll put them in my book at a later date. But for now, they can just stay like this, though I will add the double-sided tape to them in a moment when I clean up. But anyway, that is a kitting up that I've finally done. Feels like, I did kit up retro, I think that was this year, but it does feel like a while since I've kitted up. Maybe it's because I've been doing so many breakdown videos, but it is nice to have, you know, one ready to go the next time. So make those sit down. It is nice to have one ready for as soon as I've finished retro, especially because my other paintings are very nearly finished. And I'll be sure to be kitting up a big one again soon. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.